sound of military tanks. These tanks were headed by a two-star general from the National Guard. They were coming to rescue us from those students who had locked us in the building. When the students heard the tanks coming, it dawned on them that perhaps they should remove the chains. They did. They dashed over the hills, and we were rescued. However, you must keep in mind, you're too old, you're too young to remember this. This was a time when there were major riots at Kent State, South Carolina State, Jackson State, just to name three institutions. Gunfire at all those places. Students were injured, some were killed. Immediately after we had been rescued, we began to have a series of meetings. And the first meeting was to suspend all operations at Tuskegee for 2 weeks in order to get our house in order. And because this was such a major episode, it became necessary to take action against the students. And that is to have trials. And because I was in the building for the entire time, because my assistant was there for the entire time, because the president's assistant was there for the entire time, we became the three chief witnesses for the prosecution when the trial started. And that gave me my first exposure to the American Civil Liberties Union. The prosecution prevailed. Some students were suspended. Some were expelled. One of those who was expelled was the president of the Student Government Association. She subsequently came back to Tuskegee. Shall we say she repented, she graduated, and she's now a remarkable citizen. Also, shortly after that experience, because of my involvement in the auxiliary enterprises area, I joined 7 other individuals at a meeting at the University of Detroit, where we wanted to talk about forming a national association. We met, we convened, we agreed that there was now the time, the need to form this national association. And for some reason, I got the short straw and became the first president of the National Association of College Auxiliary Services. The band of 7 that decided to form a national organization. Went back to Tuskegee, told my boss about this development, and he was incensed. He said, Lassiter, this is a time when we are strapped for fun. We don't need another association. I just got rid of this group that wanted to form an association for fraternities. And here you come up with another new association, and to top it off, you are the president. So I am caused to have to support you against my better judgment. Well, that organization that began with 7 individuals, we had our first annual meeting. 41 colleges were represented. We were off to a glorious start. I was elected for a second term as president. We had our second annual meeting. 75 institutions came. We were really off to a good start. Today, there are 1,300 institutions that hold membership in the National Association of College Auxiliary Services. That just tells you what can be done if you are committed to it. At Tuskegee, I was heavily involved in the affairs of the university. I was at what I would call the leadership table. And I was involved in the making of all the major decisions that were made at that institution. But something resonated with me, or it seemed as though while everyone could engage in dialogue, everyone could talk, but when it came time to make the decisions, only those persons who had a D behind their name were heard. D meaning PhD, EDD, JD, finished it while working full-time in 3 years. At Tuskegee, I became reconnected with the military and became a commissioned officer. That was a major venue for service. When I retired from the reserves in 1987, I had achieved the rank of colonel. After earning my doctorate degree, I went through the experience that I believe most people do when they earn a degree. You want something to happen to you. I had been viewed as the heir apparent to become the next CFO at Tuskegee. But I was a little wiser now, and I knew that there was no such thing as the anointing process. This all went through a process. And so there was no opportunity for me to advance at Tuskegee. And so after having spent 17 and a half years there, I made the decision to leave Tuskegee. And I accepted